The title of my session is Can the Irish Logistics Service Industry Meet the Challenges of Brexit? For the purposes of today's presentation, by Irish I mean founded here and with headquarters in Ireland. In my presentation I'm also going to use the acronym LSP, which stands for Logistics Service Provider. And LSP is a generic term and includes companies that are involved in transport from Ireland and also covers companies offering warehouse services. So it's a mixture of the both. My company, Model Logic, we've been involved in logistics related projects from Ireland to the UK and also to Europe for over 10 years now. And since the announcement of Brexit, we have worked closely with Bord Bia and prepared the Strategies for Success guide, which was launched in February this year and has received quite considerable press coverage during August. We're also working with Bord Bia to run workshops and have created an LSP database for servicing the UK and Europe markets. All of this support material is available on the Bord Bia website. We don't know the full implications of Brexit, but it is likely that it will lead to significant changes to the way that the Irish logistics industry has to operate. Brexit, however, is not the only issue facing the Irish food and drink logistics industry today. Many food and drink shippers are now looking further afield into new markets in Europe, supported by Bord Bia in their prioritizing market report. As you're also aware, there is a technological revolution taking place based upon the cloud, network services, and asset tracking. Getting to grips with this requires the LSPs to spend time to research and make financial investments. There are also issues around the recruitment of staff, particularly drivers, to work in the industry. The drive for sustainability and improved vehicle fill across Europe is ongoing. Also, as we move into further European markets, the Irish haulage operators will face more and larger competitors. There are many homegrown transport companies ranging from one vehicle owner-driver to larger businesses with a few hundred vehicles and trailers. Most of these companies cut their teeth providing transport from the different regions in Ireland to the UK. Some of these have grown and extended their range to offer transport mainly to countries close to the Channel crossings. These companies tend to specialize in specific temperatures and offer full truckload or less than truckload services. A few companies travel to more distant countries and offer FTL transport. The incumbent Irish hauliers now find themselves in competition with European logistics companies who also offer transport services to Europe, both near and far. These companies built up their businesses operating networks across mainland Europe, including both transport and warehousing services. Ireland and the UK are key elements of their strategies, and there have been a number of acquisitions of Irish companies to provide a local presence in Ireland. These companies also have significant IT departments and are continuously investing in new technology. Many also operate as freight forwarders and are experienced in export and import processes. There have also been a number of other important market developments. Some LSP companies have concentrated on certain product groups. Drinks, fish and seafoods, fruit and veg, and meat have become key areas of specialization. We have also seen the evolution of specialist warehousing companies, particularly frozen, who have made significant investments in large, strategically placed, often automated facilities across Western Europe. These companies then partner with transport companies to provide total solutions. In order to compete with the major European LSPs, a number of strategic partnerships and alliances have been established. Here, a number of like-minded mid-tier LSPs have joined forces to provide solutions for longer distance transport. In parallel to this, ambient pallet networks have joined forces to offer solutions. Further key links in the supply chain are the shipping and port companies who provide the infrastructure and services for the LSPs to operate. I am sure that these companies will rise to meet the requirements, and they will make investments in new ships and port facilities. However, it may be necessary to be ahead of the game and evolve new services to reach the more distant markets. The Irish logistics community as a whole will need to evolve their businesses to meet the requirements of both Brexit and the demands for solutions to more distant European markets. I have made some suggestions here to how things might develop in the future. I'd like to highlight a few of these. Using unaccompanied trailers can be cost-effective on ferry routes where the facilities and support systems exist for it to take place. Irish LSPs could consider operating or sharing warehouse space to serve the European market. The well-researched Blue Banana corridor across Western and Central Europe provides a guide to the ideal locations. With the development of the online industry, there has been significant investment by parcel carriers to meet the demands across Europe. New planes, more routes, and automated sortation centres have quickly extended capacity. How much this could be used for larger volume flows within the food and drink industry needs to be researched further. Perhaps we can persuade Michael O'Leary to introduce a low-cost air freight service across Europe. A key trend in modern logistics is the development of cloud-based network systems to provide information and linkages between participants in the supply chain. I believe that this will become standard practice in the future and will allow LSPs to collaborate with each other to provide end-to-end services. The Irish haulier community will need to decide where they fit into this new world. It will be interesting to see, as things evolve, who makes the investment in the technology and who seeks to control the show. There are many collaborative systems that are now in place. There have also been a number of EU-funded trials under the Next Trust banner. These have been set up to test how the principles work in practice and what the likely savings are. These projects have mainly been driven by trying to reduce the carbon footprint by improving the vehicle utilization and vehicle fill of transport in Europe. It is estimated that 21% of vehicle trips run empty, and the average vehicle fill is 43%. The cost of these inefficiencies has to be borne by the shippers and their consumers. A map of the possible future supply chain systems creates a bewildering maze of options. Irish logistics companies will need to decide what their priorities are and develop their system strategies accordingly. Although these technologies will ultimately lead to more efficient and informed supply chains, in the short term, companies will need to invest significant time and money to move to the new world. Some companies may not be quick enough to respond and get overtaken by their competitors. So what do the Irish LSPs have to do to meet the Brexit challenges and also remain independent? Priority number one is to achieve AEO status. Then decide how much of the export-import administration and systems they wish to take on, and then recruit the skills where appropriate. LSPs should work with other key players along the Ireland to Europe supply chain to evolve a joined-up strategy for the industry. They should collaborate with other LSPs to achieve higher load factors on both outbound and inbound trips. For more distant markets, developing partnerships or alliances makes sense. LSPs should research and invest in smart technology and the associated people training. Consider a European warehouse or hub, possibly shared or through a strategic partnership. So let's revisit our initial question. Can the Irish logistics service industry meet the challenges of Brexit? At a strategic level, the future options boil down to four. Specialize, for example, concentrate on the UK market or focus on a product sector with specific requirements, such as drinks or meat. Partner with other like-minded LSPs in Europe to offer end-to-end solutions. Merge, or more likely be bought out by a larger European player. Or sadly, if you don't know where you are going and you expect business to continue as it did in the past, then you may end up by ceasing to trade. That brings an end to my presentation.